Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Written in 1893. The story begins with a young German boy named Baron who makes his home in Castle Trump. Bored with his life of luxury, Baron sets off on an adventure. He is then guided by a man named Don, who is known as the Master of all Masters. Don gives Baron Trump a 15th century manuscript and takes him to a time-traveling portal in Russia. Don advanced the theory that there is every reason to believe that the interior of our world is inhabited, that ages ago terrible disturbances had taken place and had driven the inhabitants to seek refuge in the vast underground chambers. So vast, in fact, as to merit the name world within a world. 4 years later in 1896, the author writes another book titled The Last President. "1900 or The Last President" is a surrealistic 1896 novel, where Americans are protesting a corrupt election process while the president's hometown of New York City is fearing the collapse of the republic after the transition of presidential power. The Last President also references a hotel on Fifth Avenue being the center of a furious mob. After his inauguration, the president was to announce the selection of his cabinet, and most notably, he chooses Leif Benz. Then he gives out Executive Order 1, the immediate abandonment of the gold reserve and the gold and silver standard of the Constitution shall be resumed. The author notes that there is a strange prophecy that there would be a dawnless day. There are 50,000 people on the streets of Washington without bread or shelter, and the president establishes camps and reserves rations for these common people. The common people started to protest, and new taxes were put on the wealthy. Unfortunately, the government was powerless to stop the decline of the dollar. Rioting broke out everywhere, especially in the North, and socialism and anarchism found willing ears. The South seems to form great power, and they are extremely upset about the tax put on them, especially because the North is much richer. There are cries of treason and the republic is shaken at its foundations. The Speaker of the House says the president must resign. Then, the president speaks, and it seems almost godly. He has everybody back under his power for a moment. Out of nowhere, the Capitol is struck by dynamite and destroyed. The Republic was dead, and it had died so peacefully, that the world could not believe the tidings of its passing away. As the dawn broke cold and gray, and its first dim light fell upon that shattered dome glorious even in its ruins, a single human eye filled a gleam of devilish joy, looked up at it long and steadily, and then its owner was caught up and lost in the surging mass of humanity that held the Capitol girt round and drowned.